You know what I'm saying? So think 50K, think 50K, think 50K, man. You know what I'm saying? Think 50K a month, then start thinking 50K a week, then you start thinking 50K a day. You understand? You know, like I said, it's all in the mind though, man. It's all the mind thing, like I always say. Hey man, I want to talk about how I got my first 50K deal, right? This was my first time making this much money on one deal. This was a few years back, right? But I just want to talk about how, you know, going for bigger deals, 50K and up, can really change your business, right? So how I got this deal, it was from SMS. We were sending thousands of texts a day, and the seller was going through a situation where, you know, he had the house pretty much vacant for a long time. And by the way, we got this lead, he was on a vacant lien list. So you know I talk about stacked lists all the time. So he was on a vacant lien list. So, you know, this guy, highly motivated, and I really could have made probably 70,000 off of it. But one thing you got to understand, any deal that you make a lot of money on, you know, you definitely could have made more, you know what I mean? So a lot of time we end up leaving money on the table, but either way, 50K, right? So the thing is, I sent him, you know, a text message. He responded back ASAP, and the price that he wanted was already a good price, you understand? But at the same time, you know, it's all about negotiating and not, you know, like for example, like if a seller say they want 150,000 and you know it's worth 250,000 as is, that's 100,000 in the middle. But you don't want to be too you don't want to be quick to say yes. You still want to act like, oh man, I gotta see, you know what I mean? You know, are you flexible on the price? And you see what I'm saying? Like, don't be so quick to say yes, because they might think that it's too sweet. You know what I mean? Like, damn, he said yes too much. Maybe I should charge more. So I actually got him down a little lower than what he originally asked for, right? So, but yeah, and this deal was, I double closed on it. No, actually, I didn't double close on it. Actually, I normally double close on a deal like this, but this was actually a $50,000 assignment because the attorney that I used, they actually don't do double close. You know what I mean? They only do assignments, right? So it worked out, you know what I mean? But I think the main thing is aiming for to get bigger spreads. You got to go after the motivated list. So it's like, you know, that's why I always say get the county data, you know what I mean? Get the pre-foreclosure, get the probate. But this list actually came from PropStream. So even PropStream, Deal Machine, places like this still got good data. So try to go after that stack data. So this was a 2-stack. So this was on a vacant lien list, you know what I'm saying? 2-stack, right? So, and another thing I noticed, like with bigger deals, they always be really sweet. You know, you normally don't have too many problems. It's just in and out real quick. You know what I mean? The biggest deals give you the less problems. The biggest deal give you the least amount of problems, man. You know what I mean? I remember I had a deal probably a month or so ago. The buyer was supposed to close, and he came, you know, when the closing day came, he said, oh, I normally don't pay closing costs. Now, mind you, he ended up not closing, right? Mind you, this house I had on the contract for maybe like $3,000, and he was supposed to pay $7,000 for it. So I was only gonna make $4,000. But he made it such a big deal over closing costs. I'm like, bro, it's a $7,000 house. Closing costs is like $1,000. You're getting a $7,000 house. So that's why I say, man, like, stay away from the smaller deals if you can. You see what I'm saying? If you can, you know, if it's fast, and you know what I mean, you can get it done, but aim bigger, you know what I mean? Because when you getting them 50K, even the 25K deals and stuff like that, it really moved the needle. You see what I'm saying? Because when I did the 50K, it increased, you know what I'm saying, my marketing ability. You know what I'm saying? I was able to, you know what I'm saying, act on things a little faster. You know what I mean? And it's just overall better, you know what I'm saying, when you're making more money, obviously, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, it was sweet though with the 50K deal. The seller, he didn't really give me no problems. I think he had a lot of stuff in the house, and you know, he had to hurry up and move everything out, you know what I mean, because he was like a hoarder or something like that. But I always remember that, man. And then the attorney, he was like, man, you making a lot on this deal, you know what I'm saying? And you know, because the attorney, they be counting your pockets, man. They definitely be counting your pockets for sure, you know what I'm saying? You start making 50K or more, they gonna count them pockets, believe me, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like, aim big, you know what I'm saying? Get your wham thermometer up, you see what I'm saying? Think on a higher level, you understand? That's key, you see what I'm saying? Don't think small, don't aim for smaller deals, aim for big. When you wake up in the morning and you starting to pull your data, or whether you're doing SMS or cold calling, PPC, whatever, think big, you know what I mean? Because big deals start in the mind. You see what I'm saying? It don't just start with the list, it starts in the mind, because you gotta aim big to receive big. You know what I mean? You need to read that book, Magic of Thinking Big. You understand? So big. Think 50K, 100K, 150K deals, $500,000 deal. Believe that you can make $500,000 on one deal, man. You know what I'm saying? It's people that's made $500,000 on one wholesale deal, right? And so that's my goal. I'm trying to do bigger six-figure deals, man, and we all should be aiming big. You see what I'm saying? The small stuff is, you know what I mean? Let that small stuff go. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, but like you just getting started and you close your first deal. Let's say your first deal was 3, 4K, 5K. That's still good because it's proof of concept. You see what I'm saying? And you know, if you can do a lot of volume, it add up. But I still say aim bigger. You get what I'm saying? Aim for bigger deals. I'm telling you, that's key to change your life, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, for real. It really moved the needle for my business, man. So, think big, aim big, you know what I mean? Think better, do better. You know what I'm saying? For real, though. So, yeah, man, when you pull in your list, you know what I mean? Think about what list will actually get me 100K. What list could get me a 50K deal? You see what I'm saying? And, you know, because the bigger the deal, the easier it is to get the six-figure months. You know what I mean? So, think big. I'm telling you, that's the sauce. You see what I'm saying? You think big, you will get it. You see what I'm saying? That 50K deal, my first 50K deal changed my life. You see what I'm saying? And it raised your wham thermometer, because you only get what you expect. You know what I'm saying? If you expect less, that's what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? So expect more. You get what I'm saying? I remember when I was doing a lot of small deals, you know, years ago, I was expecting small, right? When I was doing big deals, I was expecting big. You get what I'm saying? It all started in the mind, I promise you. You know what I mean? Don't start with the list. The money in the list, but the money is really in the mind. You understand? The money is definitely in your mind. How you thinking, man? You thinking big or you thinking small? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Get your mind right, Jack. You know what I mean? Get your mind right. There's so much opportunity in this world, man. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta tap in. Wholesaling is a great way to run up some real cash, man. Some real M's. You understand? For sure. But to be honest with you, though, you know, when you do get your 50K, your 100K deal, I recommend double closing on me personally, just for the fact there's so much hating going on right now with wholesaling, and, you know, they trying to regulate wholesaling assignments, so just double close, man. When you double close, you're doing, you're using the buyer's money to close. So let's say you got the contract with the seller for $200,000, and let's say the buyer is doing $250,000. The buyer will wire in $250,000, and then you would use that $250 to buy the house, and then, you know, it's like two closings. You would sign the A to B HUD, and you would sign the B to C HUD. I prefer double close, but that 50K deal I did was definitely an assignment, though. So I prefer double close, though, just to, you know what I mean, keep the bullshit down. You know what I mean? another way to double close. Some attorneys don't. Some attorneys and title companies don't do what they call pass-through funding when you use the buyer's money. So you're gonna have to use transactional funding, which is an extra cost, but it's worth it if you're gonna make 100K, 50K. So you know what I mean. So that's what I suggest. So yeah, man, I want you to think 50K. When you pull your next list, I want you to think 50K. You know what I'm saying? 50K, 50K, right? Think about 50K deal. Think about how it look in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? Think about how it's gonna change your life. You see what I'm saying? Think about saying no to the small stuff, man. You understand? And saying yes to the big stuff, man. You understand? You know what I'm saying? So think 50K, think 50K, think 50K, man. You know what I'm saying? Think 50K a month. Then start thinking 50K a week. Then you start thinking 50K a day. You understand? You know, like I said, it's all in the mind though, man. It's all the mind thing, like I always say. You see what I'm saying? Shit, if I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? If she can do it, he can do it. If she can do it, he can do it, we can do it. You understand? That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the link below, book a call with me if you need some strategies. You know, I do a strategy session. I even do a course for you on the spot, you know what I mean, based on your needs or what you need help with. So I'll put you together a course on the spot. Just click the link below, tap in. Bando Joe, I'm out. Peace.